Hi, welcome to the midweek roll number 5. It really is becoming a regular thing, this, isn't it? I've got a whole batch of pictures here to show you and talk you through. What I'm discovering as I'm doing this midweek camera roll thing is that obviously I'm not vlogging when I take these kind of images, but it becomes a session for me to go out and explore areas that perhaps I haven't taken photographs of in those locations before. So kind of like there is a word for it. I can't remember what the word was. I'm thinking of it before I did this video. But you know, you go out and explore and you find locations. So this week's midweek roll took me around Dover, around Canterbury, and we had a foggy morning as well, so in local area of Wootton. I'm very excited because tomorrow, because I put these out on a Wednesday when I can, tomorrow I sail to Scandinavia. So we're driving up to Norway. Well, we're driving up to Sweden and then going to Norway. And I've got so much planned in terms of visiting locations, doing videos, doing driving videos, doing photography videos. But I'll equally be taking loads of images. So I think the next midweek roll I do, number 6, will include images from the trip, which would be great. But for now, let's get on and look at the images that I've taken over the last 5-6 days. I remembered what it was. It's called scouting locations, to make sure that you've got, you experience a location and you think, oh yeah, that would be good for taking photographs. Anyway, first shot was Thursday evening. I'm in bed. My daughter WhatsApped me, Dad, Aurora Borealis is kicking off. Just point your camera north, she goes, and I'm sure you'll get something. So I'm in the back garden. I've got my toweling housecoat on because I've been in bed. And I couldn't see anything with the naked eye. However, iPhone to the rescue, holding it as still as I can. Where is my iPhone? Here. I'm holding it as still as I can, setting it on take the image, and of course it goes along going hold camera still, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. So I caught this with the iPhone. I'm really quite happy with it. You can't really see the sort of the beams of light, but my word, it does illuminate the sky, and I've got the stars in there. So yeah, I caught an Aurora Borealis image. I wonder if I'll get any in Norway. So then I went down to Dover. What I'm going to do is quickly capture some footage from Google Earth so that I can show you where I was. Now, I've always gone to the White Cliffs of Dover, which, the National Trust Visitor Centre. And what I can do is I can look down over the port of Dover. And I am aware that there's this footpath that comes down from the visitor centre just by the entrance there. And you can walk down under the Jubilee Way and come into Dover that way. So I thought, well, let's do the reverse of that. So I actually parked up down here. Where am I looking? Here we are. I parked up on this little parkway here, and basically my journey was going to take me across here, over the footpath, and then through this back road called East Cliff, which I walked up, and then it's called the Dame Vera Lynn Way. So I walked up as far as the Jubilee Way bypass thing, got a couple of shots there, and then came back down. So that was my route in Dover. I decided I would start down at the harbour at the Marine Parade to take a couple of shots. RNLI boat was coming in. I thought, that's nice. Take a shot of that. And then I thought, I saw this big kind of boat coming in. And you can see it there with its yellow cranes. So I decided to do a pano. Try and capture, because the clouds were doing some amazing things, as well as the boat coming in. Nothing in particular. It's just like I can see the boat. I like that. I can see the harbour. I like that, but how do I incorporate all of it, especially with the harbour arm and the lighthouse? Then I turned around and just, this old boy. Is it street photography? I don't know. Reportage? I don't know. I don't think he's a homeless chap. The bike looks too new, but maybe he's doing some kind of cycle tour. He's got his bag. He's got maybe his sleeping gear on the back, and he's having a snooze. But I thought, let's take a picture of that. Walking then towards the traffic light so that I can start the journey up the East Cliff. There's this girl, and she's taking images of herself. She's doing selfie stuff like this. I thought, well, I'll get in on that. I'll take a picture of you taking a picture of you. Nice depth of field, background's blurred. Then I saw the old war rooms in the cliffs. I thought, well, that's lovely, because look at the sky, all blue. I had the polarizer on. I'm fascinated, and you can visit the war rooms when you go into Dover Castle, and you can see out of those windows looking out. So the thing that got me is that the war rooms are super secret, or they were. It was, for best kept secrets, military secrets, all of that. Then after the war, and when Dover Castle became National English Heritage, they open it to the public. But of course, the German planes coming over during World War II would have seen, unless it was all covered, with camouflage and things. Makes me wonder. So I had to cross the road, and I thought, I like that. To a kind of, it's not macro, but, just, what kind of photography is that, people? Let me know. But I've got the background blurred, and I've got the, crossing signals. So anyway, I then walked into East Cliff. It's the name of that narrow road. And it was really antiquated. Old buildings and old cars, believe it or not. But what got me was that it sits at the foot of the cliff. So here you can see some more of the war rooms in the cliffs. And you've got this house right underneath. Well, in fact, the whole row of houses, and you'll see that in a picture or two. What happens if there's cliff foliage? I wonder what kind of insurance those houses require. But I liked the aspect of the cliff looming over the row of houses. And sure enough, I said there was some classic cars. There's two, actually. Well, I said classic V-Reg. What is a V-Reg? Is that like 1989 was the G? I don't even know what V-Reg. I'll put it on the screen. 928. Looking worse for the wear there. So I'm walking along to the end of the road and past this photographer. Had a little chat, and they're just out doing what I'm doing, taking a walk. But then as I turned to see them walking away, now I've walked from the far end there, I thought, well, that's a lovely image. Just all the little terraced houses going all the way along. There's the pub. The cliffs are on the right. I've got the sky. I've got this old G-Reg Land Rover, Range Rover, isn't it? So that's like 1989, I think, a G-Reg like that. I think. Could be wrong. I'll put it on the screen. Yeah. So then I start walking up Dame Vera Lynn Way to the White Cliffs of Dover. So you can actually walk all the way up to the visitor centre and get there. They've got this kind of stainless steel motif marker thing. Now I had to take some pictures of the ferries and the port because I know that I'm going on the ferry tomorrow, actually. So I don't normally get this close to the gantry with the entrance because I've not walked this Dame Vera Lynn Way before. So again, it's scouting out locations, isn't it? Finding something. So I just a random shot. Then I get under the Jubilee Way. I thought, wow, concrete. And there's a word for it, isn't there? Stark. Is it stark? It's just like abstract, starky. And then coming out from under there, we've got the steps going down, graffiti everywhere. Kind of shows you a little bit of run down, doesn't it? Then I thought, well, let's go back a bit and do a panorama of the Jubilee Way, swinging all the way round. So I got myself a nice little panorama there, again with the sky, and actually you can see the moon in there, which we'll see again in another picture. Fucking hate life. It's a shame, really, but you know, I'm not one for graffiti, but someone's making a statement here, so I captured that, and then I captured that one as well. What are they trying to tell us? Anarchy, no future. It's okay to go against the grain, but you know, we live in a society, so you've got to be part and parcel of the structure of it all, haven't you? So that we all can work together. So anyway, I'm pointing down now at the harbour, and I saw this structure, and I thought, what are they building? Looks like a circus or something. I've never seen anything like that before. Is it a temporary structure? Is it going to be something covering something they're going to build? Anyway, I thought I'd capture it just for posterity. I walked up onto the main road that comes down Jubilee Way, and I saw the Welcome to England, and I thought, you know what would be good is to try and get a slow shutter speed of a vehicle passing that to show motion, rather than just take the picture of the Welcome to England. So I'm propping my camera on the edge of the concrete post because I didn't have my tripod with me. So I think this image, let me just get the properties up so that I can work out how long the exposure was. 1/4 of a second. So like that. But yeah, I caught the truck going by. So the yellow thing is the lights, isn't it? So then I walked back down just to get a wash of the sunlight over the harbour. And again, normally I'm up on the White Cliffs of Dover looking down. So I'm actually at kind of level with the boats. Yeah, this is really good because it's showing me the industry, isn't it? It's the activity, but it's not a beautiful scene. It's not a landscape. It's not a lone tree. But because this kind of photography for me, I'm looking at so many things. You've got the guys in the high-vis jackets at the front of the picture here. You've got trucks coming off. You've got all these 18-wheelers parked up, ready to load onto the ferry. And you've got this other ferry just arriving. And then you've got the little restaurant area where I'll probably be tomorrow morning getting some breakfast, waiting for our ferry to load. So again, I mentioned the moon. I thought I'll see if I can expose for the moon. And it's quite clear. It's a half moon. And it's giving me all these lovely hues. The sun is setting kind of that way to the right of the image. So it's washing across the sky. Yeah, quite a nice image. I then walked back down. I'm heading back to the car again. A whole bunch of garages. Why not, eh? For no reason other than James Popsis. Human element, right? Then they've got these old kind of Victorian houses that go along the front of the marine, well, not the marine parade, from the end of the Dame Vera Lynn walkway where the entrance to the port is. You've got all of these old houses, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, my mind's eye can see Groucho Marx. Who was that lady I saw you with? That was no lady, that was my wife. So I call Sean. Back down to the marine harbour, and you've got this little cafe just at the entrance, and they've, rather than have graffiti, they've actually done a mural. And if you follow it from the bottom right, oh hi, feeling groovy, feeling fine, make sure you fill your world with oceans of love. Step, shine, I'm seeing all sorts of things there. Looks like a tooth, shoes, maybe there's a piece of pizza in there, some ghosts. Just lots of things to look at. So I thought I'd capture that. So back to where the old boy was sleeping. He's still there, but he's to the left at the bottom left there. I can see the two ends of the harbour arm through the glass on this kind of cabin thing. I thought, yeah, it kind of gives me that aspect of inside looking out, even though I'm on the outside, I'm on the other side. But I get a harbour arm on each side of the window, and the light in the reflection is behind me in the restaurant behind on the other side of the road. So yeah, quite clever. So the last image for Dover, as I'm walking up the hill, not walking, driving home, I could really see the moon coming out there. So I thought I'd take a shot of the castle with the moon in the background. So that was Dover. I was then in Canterbury on the Saturday, and I'm releasing a video this Saturday of a walkabout in Canterbury with my camera. I had an equity meeting. But as I do when I do vlogging, I always take images more than I need for the videos. So just a couple of shots from Canterbury. We got the 1829 sluice gate, and this was taken with the Sony Cybershot. So I've got some motion blur with the water, but you come in off the car park, walk through the Marlow Park, and then you get to the Marlow Theatre. It's a torrent, that water. It's rushing down. And I looked at it, I thought, what happens if the river runs dry? Because that water is streaming through. It's a very busy river. But I like that. It's a motion blur. Then outside the Marlow, you've got this drive bridge, a road bridge, and you've got the canal on either side. And I saw the leaves just floating by. I thought, yeah, catch a shot of the leaves with the bubbles. That's autumn. That's the autumn we're getting at the moment. And then I'm pointing down to try and get the reflection of the sun on the water. I think it looks quite arty, doesn't it? Then after the meeting, walked back to the car, back through the park, and I saw these two girls taking a picture. So obviously the one about to sit down, she's going to pose, and in fact she was posing. So she's got red hair, she's got a red jacket, and they're taking a picture. Her friend's taking a picture of her against the red leaves. I thought, she's going to be in camouflage in a minute. But yeah, street photography. And then there's a woman, she's taking a selfie. We all love to do a selfie, don't we? She's taking a picture of herself. So yeah, caught that. And it's those red leaves. I don't know what they are. Are they ivy? And the ivy leaves are turning red, but they're growing down off the tree into the river. Wonderful. And then this morning I woke up to mist and fog, and I thought, I've got to go out and take some images. So no vlogging, but I went out with the camera, very early morning walk. Sun had risen, sun rose at 7 o'clock, 6:50, something like that. But I thought, yeah, let's get out, see if I can capture some moody shots. I don't think I did, but it's nice just to get out and capture shots with the mist, because you never know what you're going to get. And I guess, again, it's the kind of scouting out, you know, discovering places. So this is Denton Lane, walking up to the main centre of the town. You've got the mist coming in. You can see the autumn colours beginning to start. And I took a back path through here. What I liked here was the mist is shrouding all the trees in the background. So you can't see the trees beyond the fir trees there, the Christmas trees. But they are shrouded in the mist. And the footpath is all dark where I am because all the trees are overhanging. So I'm using this large tree in the foreground as a silhouette to frame. I think what I'm focusing on there is the fir trees. That's what's catching my eyes. Country lane shot. Again, just walking that path beyond the fir trees. I turn right in a minute and go up that way. But yeah, some nice colours of autumn. That's what happens when it looks like that in the mist. Got someone walking by, distracting me. If you followed my channel for any length of time, you know I've taken lots of pictures of this dead fallen tree. But I thought it looked nice in the mist because it's giving me, again, layers. I could see the foreground, the greens of the grass in the field. There's this overhanging tree, which I've just caught a few branches. Then you've got the shaded tree, which is kind of parallel with the fallen tree. And then beyond that, so another layer of trees, but now shrouded in the mist. Lots of open space as well. Looking over here. Still the same location, I just turned a little to the right and caught another tree. So again, gradients of light as it goes backwards. But it was nice getting out. It was nice doing a walk. I'm all alone. I love that kind of stuff. I caught a spiderweb. Isn't it lovely when you catch a spiderweb with all the water on it? I thought, yeah, I like that. That's quite nice. Turned around, started walking back, saw the church, again shrouded in mist, quite nice, nothing to write home about. And the lamppost outside the old pub, which is now a home, but look at all the spider webs and everything on it. Rather nice. And a gate shot, doesn't that make you wonder? We've got, again, different shades of light from me to the trees in the background. Mist is beginning to start to lift, and therefore there's a shaft of light coming in on the orange leaves on the left there. The gate will stop cars going in, but you can walk past it on the left there, can't you? Keep out, unless you're not a car, in which case, come in. And then we got this old boy, he does his rounds. He's got one of these little quad car things. He's got two dogs in the back and he just sits in the front. And you can hear it almost like half a mile away. Probably a 600cc thing. I thought, oh, I better get out of the road. He's coming down. But I took a shot of him anyway, because I kind of thought that looks a bit mysterious and eerie as he's driving down the road. He then cut off. You can see the dirt track on the right there. He cut off. I thought, look at the mess of that. But obviously he's scouting his field because he does a circuit of all the farmland to make sure fences are all right. And in certain fields, he's obviously checking to see if there may be any dead sheep. Who knows? But I caught the mud and the water. I thought, I'm not going in there. But you can see the tree in the background. See that tree? That's the tree that I'm almost always taking images of. So I thought, okay, let's get them in the mist. Harvesting has happened. You can see that all the crop has gone. So it's nice to revisit locations and take a different shot of the same location just to see how it changes over time. Because I've taken many shots of these two trees with the sun coming through, or the sun on this angle, or with crops and the footpath and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. What about this one? This was just, obviously I'd been taking a picture of the trees, and as I turned back up the lane where the little farm vehicle had come from, I saw all the different layers of the trees. I thought, okay, I'll capture that with all their different colours as you go from foreground to background. Starting to head back home, and the willow trees got all its leaves. I guess these are my autumn pictures, aren't they? People are going to give you wonderful landscapes of a lake with a red tree in it, and I don't have that around here, so I'm stuck with this kind of image. So I thought, okay, let's try and capture a few shots of the plantage. So again, we get the Clematis vitalba, or the old man's beard. I've managed to capture a few droplets of water on the plant. We've got the spider web. I thought, yeah, that's pretty nice. And next to that was, which I think is a rose bush. It's some kind of rose, but kind of macro-ish, because I've got water on the pink petals or the red petals, and I've got water on the leaf at the bottom, and in fact both those leaves are kind of cupping the water. A bit of plant photography, rather nice. This one was weird because I liked the whole bush had all of these red drooping plants, but I couldn't get the right focal range. So I've got bits of it in blur and bits of it in focus. So again, it's more about learning. Should I have stood further back and then zoomed in more, or should I have zoomed to 18 and stood really close to it? So I took one shot, but now looking at it, I'm thinking, Tudor, you're gonna have to go out and experiment with these kind of things. Take the shot, look at it, it's blurred. Should I stand further back but zoom in? Should I stand closer but zoom out? That kind of stuff. But that's good because that's how we learn, right? So walking back, I saw this really strange spider web, but it's the engineering that got me. Because see what the spider's done? He's kind of anchored the web at the top, but in order to not have it flapping around, because we picture a spider web as being just 2D, don't we? And it's just anchored. But this one is like 3D, and I think the spiders scuttle about on them. But see how he's spun the web down to the plants, and he's using the plants as anchor points for his web. Or her web, who knows? So again, almost home. So the beginning shot was looking the other way. I'm now walking down. I've got obviously telegraph poles and wires, which isn't that pretty. But yeah, look at the colours. It's nice in the mist, and it's kind of damp. I like that. And then one final shot, which is the old cottage opposite my house, because she has the birch tree, which is almost losing all of its leaves. Can you see that? But the one on the right has got lots of yellow plants. I was happy with that. So there you go. That was Midweek Camera Roll number 5. So I did get out. I did get quite a few images taken, so I'm pleased with that. Nothing portfolio-ish, as they say, but it's more about scouting out locations and, just being out with the camera. Because I get a sense of satisfaction looking at the images thinking, you didn't do too bad there. That was a good one. But as always, I might look the other way, or I might look at the image and think, that's a good image, but you should have taken a picture of the bottom right there with the fog. And so that's what the scouting does. Go out and take pictures and then reimagine the scene and then go and visit it again. I like going out with my camera. It's a good old beast. I'm going to be using this in Norway as well as my Sony Cybershot. So there you go. End of Midweek Camera Roll number 5. Thank you for watching. If you did, drop me a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Saturday, I did a walkabout in Canterbury. Bye for now.